this building, our neighboring building, Smokestack, has on occasion produced a thickness of smoke and over in a period of time that is not healthy, and it blows directly into our building, on our terraces or whatever. So I've had to document it and submit complaints to the Department of Buildings, in order to address the situation, which is something I have to continue to do. But basically, anytime that I see it, I'm recording it, because I'm saying that's not supposed to go for more than, let's say, 10 to 15 seconds. It's already a minute, and I started recording late. I've recorded on when it's bad. I've recorded up to 10 minutes. When it's supposed to be something that happens for like 10, 15 seconds, it's still rocking. So, unfortunately, that's my look. But we can talk about swing and Ableton.
So can you put the swing on the kick and the snare, but not the hi-hat?
Can you put the swing on the kick and the snare and not the hi-hat? Well, the answer is going to be yes. Of course you can. But the question I have to ask you is, can you do that on the MPC?
Yeah, very easily. That's why.
Okay, so tell me how you do it.
Alright, so you'd have the track 1, you put your kick and your snare at the setting that you wanted at, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go to set 2, track 2 of that sequence. Just turn the time effect off. So now you're just doing your own thing right there, and that's it.
Yeah, well, you can do that. That's straightforward.
Right.
What you just said is straightforward, because all you're doing is doing exactly that and then not using it on the second track. Now, there are still other ways that you could manifest what you just said, but I'm saying that isn't what you just suggested, is not even some difficult. That's an extension.
But without copying and making another drum rack?
Well, first of all, that thing can be applied. I'm asking you to think simply.
Right.
But that particular thing can be applied to each clip individually. So you could have a different swing on every single different drum clip that you have. So what I'm saying is, you could record a clip, you could set a swing to that, then record on top of that clip more stuff that has no swing, and that would be what you said. You could also copy the clip itself and change the amount of swing that is assigned to the quantization thing on that particular clip, or you could turn it off altogether. See what I'm saying? So there's a few different ways you could achieve it without making another drum rack. Still going. It's not in this set, but I want to get into this piece while I have to stand here. Okay? It's not represented in this, but after the few days I had with the push, my main takeaway from the push, in terms of things that coalesced for me, the things that it did right, that where I was like, okay, yeah, this is something I want to have as part of my experience, and makes me consider getting this thing. The one thing that was, what do you think it was?
And for me, I appreciate the chords and the music aspect of what it allows.
Okay, so pause that. Touchable has everything that, so you can see how I'm saying,
right.
If that's already there, you don't need that in order to get that. It doesn't mean that that's not the way you might want to do it, especially if you're like, this does everything else I want to do. Fine, you pick that piece and you rock with it. But for me, it's not the thing that's going to sell me on copying that piece.
The knobs?
Nope, wasn't the knobs, because you got knobs and faders all day. I live on that. I'm there. The main thing for me was, when I was making a beat
Yeah.
When I'm banging a beat out, I could play the beat. The beat that I'm playing shows up. I can see how it falls on the grid, and then I can edit the grid, and that can all be part of a workflow. Do you see you understand what I mean?
No, say again.
You can play on that interface the sounds themselves, so you can use it as your drum pad. When you're recording it, you can also see the view of the matrix of what you put where. So if you're looking at a certain instrument, you can say, "Oh, this is in my loop. This is where the kick falls here, 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 and here." And then if you want to edit, not by playing more, but by editing the matrix of what you just laid down, you can go right onto the interface and offer on different pieces of what you just laid. Do you understand what I mean now? Do you not use that aspect of it?
I don't use
Huh?
I don't use the push.
I don't use the push either because I had it for like 3 days. I'm saying I had it for 3 days. I used it. This is what I got out of what it does that I thought was dope. You've certainly used it more than I have used it. So.
No, not really. But Raymond took it.
Oh, because Raymond took it, and so but before then, you had not even used it before then.
Not really, because it would be a problem.
Okay, well, that's what. Do you know what I mean when I say what I just said? Then.
Imagine it's like the MP.
The MP is not like that. It's actually like the TR-808 is what it is. On the TR-808, you can see a matrix of what you're playing.
Oh, the step sequencing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. The MB is not like that. So I'm saying
Right.
This is borrowing from a different chamber of my past that I'm like, okay, I gave that up in a bunch of different machines because they didn't work that way, but they did enough other shit that I was like, well, how you handle samples or whatever is better than this thing doesn't take samples. You can bang your shit out like that, or you can now use it as a controller to trigger your thing, but you're losing that. But I was like, I like that. And when I was on the push, I was like, now that I'm using that again, I'm like, that puts me all the way back into programming beats the way I wanted to be back in. Getting me out of the zone where I'm like, I'll just use this drum loop and beef it up or chop it up or whatever. But back to where I used to be, I loved programming drums. So I wanted to re-engage that completely, and the step sequencing view and having it be tangible, not screen-based, tangible, tactile, was a big part of that. Made me be like, okay, if I'd get a push for this, right? Then I had to give it back. So I could sit there and be like, I can't wait to get a push because that's that thing about it. Or I could be like, dude, you have an APC and a launch pad. And I know over the past years, I've seen step sequencer and both of those devices mentioned. So what it made me do was go back and research how to enable that on the APC first. And I know there's a way to do it on the launch pad, but I use the launch pad a lot less. But I was like, if I could do what I just did on the push on there, it's not that it disregards the push. It just means like, yo, I'm good. That's what I want. I want that hands-on. I want to play the beat, and I want to be able to edit the matrix. And if I want to start like house music, you'll start it right on the matrix. Like it's your thing is going, your click's going, you're pressing where you want things to line up, and that's how you start to build your grooves. It's a totally different workflow than how hip-hop drums usually are getting created. So sure enough, I found this Max plugin for live that does exactly that thing. So where I'm going to, because this thing is still going, 10 minutes. Look at this shit. I'm glad that I started recording, man, because this is a straight violation right now. It hasn't done this in a long time. That's a good thing. But whenever it happens, it means they didn't solve the fucking problem. Like, you're wilding right now, and people in my building have to fucking suffer. their health does it suffer because you're violent? Fuck out of here.
It's the real secondhand smoke.
So in the if you want, you can open a default, open a new, just do Command N. Okay, it's finishing now.